So, yeah, I do want to jump on some Valorant, but considering the overwhelming amount of other crap I have to attend to, kind of gotta try to get some shit done. Which, this car does work, but the battery doesn't work. The battery keeps, like, crapping out. I could let this thing sit on the charger easy for like an hour. And it's a very small car, so it shouldn't really take that long to charge. But that's not the issue. The issue is after taking that ridiculous amount of time to charge, I'll take it off the charger and it won't work. It'll be like dead. So yeah, even though it's a cheap toy, we're not just gonna roll over on this one. First off, we gotta see if we can get the thing even open. Which kind of looks like they have like some dummy clips in here. I'm trying not to break it, but so at some part of the front, it's holding on the rest of the body. I've never actually taken this one apart, so I have absolutely no clue. And this does not come with like a manual or anything like that. This is it's one of those Amazon specials, you know. I think it was like $12 or something. It's like, hey, instead of having the kid smash my, $200 cars against like walls and stuff like that, we'll just get him like a real cheap one. And I mean, as I said, it does work, but I mean, it's just the battery. The battery is what's causing the issue. Which I really don't want to break the car, but I mean, it's getting close to that point. I'm trying to find the battery. It's gotta be right underneath here. Okay, so let's see. There we go. Alright. Are those the batteries, or is the battery under here? It's really, really hard to tell. Let's go ahead, we'll open this up a little bit. And we'll make sure that it is exactly where it should be, because if the battery is fine, then it's definitely some other type of issue. But as I am looking at it more and more, I'm starting to doubt the fact that it is it's actually a good battery. I'm starting to think more along the lines of, if it can't keep a charge, then it's definitely got an issue. this little coil and wire all over the place. It's really kind of a mess. As I said though, this was a Amazon special. So, if we can get the battery out of this one, we will. Well, first off, I'm kind of wondering what type of battery would be in here. It'd probably be like a like a one cell. It's gonna be something tiny, but I mean, how small are we talking? Um, what's the capacity on it? You know, these are all things I really want to find out, because if I could just pull this battery out, I can easily upgrade it to something else. Well, that answers that. The battery is not in there. Not unless this is the battery under here, which I can almost guaranteeingly say no, it is not. All right, now let's think we're gonna need some tweezers. We're getting into some delicate work here. So I was really kind of hoping the battery was in there. If it's not, then that means the battery is underneath. And I mean, it's not that big of a deal to like get to and stuff, but in the way of fitting a new battery in, it doesn't look, let's just say it doesn't look fun. If you can hear that opera music in the background, that is what my son is listening to go to sleep right now. Alright, we're gonna have to open this back up before we lose a bunch of springs all over the place. I should be using my static free tweezers, but to tell you the truth, I don't really care. They're pretty much in the same place as these ones were, but I just don't care. Alright, so hold both those up. Okay. Now I'll drop this back in here. And as we're doing that, we're going to fit the springs back in, one side at a time. This one actually needs to get flipped over. And we want to make sure that spring doesn't come out. Okay. Alright. Okay. So the front suspension is back in order the way it should be. Man, I hate working with such tiny screws. Alright, so we'll just kind of throw those screws back in because they don't really let me access the part of the car that I need, so there's no point in taking them out. Alright, now, looks like we're gonna have to move everything else that I didn't want to have to move. I don't know if it's actually glued into the car, if it's actually okay, so I see a plastic clip right here. I'm gonna try to pry it off so that way it doesn't have a hold on the board anymore, but I don't really want to break it as well. Alright, we got it. So we can kind of move a little bit of wiring. I'm gonna have to move those red and blue wires to really be able to have access to the batteries, but those look like the batteries right there, which I was hoping they weren't, but they most definitely are. And then we have the charging port on the other side, which is this hole. It's looking worse and worse, like a bad idea. See, I had in mind to go ahead and throw something in it, like I threw in this this ECX beatbox that I modified, which is just which is actually just a it's a Elite 200. It's a 1S for like little FPV drones and stuff like that. That was my idea, but first off, I'm not even gonna be able to fit that in pretty much anywhere, unless it was actually like sitting against the top of the body. I guess would have a little bit of room. It's really tough to say. It's really unfortunate. It's a cool little car. My son really likes it, but it's it like he likes the way it looks. He doesn't like the way it performs, to say the least. And I was not too thrilled with that either. Even though it's only 15 bucks, still it's it is a product that you do expect to have like functionality. I don't know how many of you guys buy stuff from Amazon. Pretty much everybody, but I don't know what you expect out of a product. But I mean, I'm not looking for miracles here. I'm looking for decent um, decent build, decent function. Does it hold up? I mean, yeah, I don't see much of a point to this one. It'll probably just be an unneeded hassle. And to tell you the truth, it's probably just better if I just went and purchased a different car, because I mean this one's not that durable as it is, so it's really not gonna last long at all. And well, once again, having a 2-year-old, that's something you really kind of need. Um, One of his favorite cars he had for a long time, he broke the remote to. But I mean, that one was 25 bucks, and he's actually stood on top of the car. I actually still have it right here. We'll zoom out a little bit to show you guys exactly. So here was one of the first ones I purchased for him. This one was 25 bucks off Amazon as well. It's actually um, supposed to be 4-wheel drive, but it's just two separate axis. So it is 4-wheel drive, but it's two different drive shafts, if that makes sense. Yeah, the remote got broken on that one. This one, on the other hand, though, this is unfortunate. I mean, I can't even tell what those tiny little solenoid batteries are in there. I mean, it's very basic, it's very easy, it's just a positive and a negative, and then the charge port, obviously, but it's it's just the fact that I don't have anything here at the moment to go ahead and put in this as a replacement. Um, I think the closest thing I do have is probably like something way different that probably won't work, but it would be something like this, and uh, and that would be cool if this was actually rechargeable, but it's not. So this would pretty much be a one and done type use if I wanted to use something like that. I do have, I believe it's like a couple of 1.7s. I don't know. It's actually been a while since I've gone through any of my drone parts and stuff. Hey, you guys want to see something cool? I actually built the world's first and smallest, as far as I know. I'm yet to see anyone that's actually smaller than this one. Um, the world's first FPV miniature helicopter. Um, yeah, this was like a 2-month project, and it came out super cool. I left it like exoskeleton, so you can basically see through it. You get the camera in the front. Couple things about it though. It was really difficult to sit there and play with the weight because of the actual controls for the unit. Um, it's like one of those, not really knockoff gag gifts, but it's one of those pre-made tiny model helicopters, and the way these are made is they're made front heavy. So when you have, I know you're looking at it backwards, but when you have a left stick, this will control your throttle, or your ascent and descent, and then you have just this one, which would normally be, pitch and roll. I mean, roll pretty much because it only goes left and right. But as you just heard me mention pitch, there's no pitch to actually push the vehicle forward. So they built the vehicle front heavy so it leans just like this forward and it flies nice and slow and steady. So this was a great platform to start with, and it worked out great. The helicopter still works today. My only issue, once again, is a battery. I'm not a, I mean, electrician's even a far word to put it. I'm not a whiz when it comes to knowing voltage and current and stuff like that. So when it came down to this little helicopter that I slapped this camera into, the problem with this is now the weight. The weight just really just drags it down. I can fully charge this thing up, and I also customize this just to take these. This one's a Pulse 220. It's a 1S. I did make it so that way it could accept these with the easy use of a sticky pad. And then obviously you can see I have just a tiny little rubber band right here that I would latch onto the back of the legs, and then I would latch another one onto the front. Sometimes I would actually just stretch it across too, and that would be the best way to do it sometimes, because it helped cut down on the weight. Let's see if I could still do it without breaking this elastic. I went through so many before. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna end up snapping it. Oh, we're going for it. Alright. So. Now we just need to actually fit it under the strap. Okay, so you get the idea. There's one side strapped up, and this helicopter would sit pretty much like this. The battery would be flat, and I'd have to play with the distance a little bit. That's why I have the double-sided tape on there. It kind of let me know exactly where I had to put the back of the tape lining up with the back of the legs, or landing gear, as you would. So now that this is all set, watch me totally smash this thing right now. Alright, we've got it, and it's held on. Now, the problem with it is it's still not going to fly because it's way too heavy. I'll go ahead and turn this on though. I'll entertain you guys. And now, I did also change out the power plug to this other power plug. I cannot remember how this thing plugs in. It's been a while. I'm assuming it goes this way. Yeah. Alright, now that it's plugged in, we can... Let me grab a monitor, actually. This one should work. Nope. Nope. There we go. Alright. So, now we'll just break out a monitor. Hopefully this is not dead as well. And we'll turn this on. It's awesome having this thing. Sometimes I just take this outside with me because I hear some dude flying at the park near my house all the time. So I'll actually just take this out and then scan around for the channels and see if I can actually pick up what he's flying. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and turn this on. We'll do a band scan to search for the video. Alright, so light might not be the best, but as you can see, there I am. And yeah. So with this, Does it fly? Um, well, usually when the battery's charged, it will try to fly, um, but right now it is not doing so. I suppose I could just slap a different battery on here for a sec to try to demonstrate why this thing does not fly, which is pretty simple to understand. It's like it's the weight of a small drone, which drones, if you don't know, have 4 motors. This one has 1. I should actually turn that off. Huh. I wonder if I'm on the correct frequency. That's weird. I do have tons of other remotes and controls, pretty much all out at the same time, so it's understandable that alright, so I think it's just registering dead because we still have the camera, we still have the still got the video feed up and running, which I know it's super hard to see, but it is still working currently right now. So yeah, basically the battery is the issue I have with this, and if I knew and or understood more about voltage and current and everything like that, it would probably be more worth diving back into that to really kind of finish it up because I mean, as I mentioned, I mean this thing is small. Um, Here you go, Apple AirPods. This is like version 1, you know what I'm saying, like original, like regular AirPods. So you can kind of see the the size comparison um, to exactly how big this helicopter is. It's a very tiny helicopter. So with the weight and the camera, having no pitch, it's really something to kind of tweak and mess around with. But to tell you the truth, I built this about like 2 years ago, and I've still just never found a good battery that will give me a little bit more room for less weight. You know, this one's a 220, this one's a 200. I've tried a 150 and I've tried a 75. Um, the only problem with the 75 is the 75 doesn't have enough power to actually power the camera and the helicopter itself. So it has to be somewhere in the 100 to 150 range. And as for weight, I mean, considering we're just talking, I'm gonna throw on Valorant in a minute anyway, because I'm pretty much done with this. But as for weight, here is the weight of one battery, and I'm gonna leave everything exactly how I had it on there. One battery with the double-sided tape is already 6.1 grams. I know you can't see that. It's super hard to see, but 6.1 grams is this one Pulse 220 1S battery. I'll measure the Elite too. This one's a 200. And that one's coming in at 5.6. So not much of a difference, but I mean this whole helicopter like doesn't even weigh that much. This whole helicopter is 12 grams in total. 12.3 to be exact. With the battery that they had on it originally, which was a 75, it's like a Fitbit battery. This was only like 14, you know, maybe even like 13. It really didn't add much weight at all. But then I went ahead and tossed on a 6 gram battery, and yeah, that's why it's having problems flying right now. I could also change out these motors, which I did plan on doing. There's two motors on the inside that basically control opposite directions for the propellers, but I can't find the motors I want. I want the damn unicorn motors that I put in my Monster Whoop, which oh, here it is. I want these exact motors because these are the bee's knees when it comes to motors. So I've also got some big boys compared to these 200s. These are what are they? 3.7s. These are 3.7 volts. I've got high voltage babies. These are by Crazy Pony. These are 230 milliamps, and these are 4.35 high voltage batteries. These are super awesome, and these are exactly what I use in my Monster Whoop all the time. This is just, you probably wouldn't believe me if I said it, but this is actually a Blade Inductrix that I totally just gutted out, ripped apart, and changed absolutely everything about it, from the frame to the props, to the camera mount, to the camera, and to the motors. Probably hard to see, but you can kind of see that pearlescent kind of color in there, as well as all the rest of them. These are the unicorn motors. These are 25,000 kV motors for a 1S. It can take 3.7 volts and have no problem. Super, super awesome. So I'm willing to throw one of these on here as well, but it's still the weight that's the problem, and I can't give it more power because these motors suck, and I'm not ripping this one apart, you know what I'm saying? This is like, you know, that's finished. That's the way that is, and that's the way that's staying, as well as the case and everything. I totally forgot I even had this. I can actually check the voltage on this right now. Alright, so 3.6 on that. So that's pretty much dead. Yeah, that's dead. Kind of tempted to actually plug this in and charge one up right now. It probably won't be fast enough to really get to check it out. But hey, you know what I'm saying? We got it right here. We're sitting here, we're chitting, chatting, just talking and shit. So why not go ahead and plug one in? Why is that? Oh, the cable's not plugged in. That would definitely that'd help give power to the unit if I actually plugged in the cable that I was plugging in. So we'll go ahead and charge up one of those. Hey, you know what? We'll charge up two of them. Why not? You know, because we got them both right there. So we got those two charging, and this probably still won't work. So back to the whole car that we started with. Yeah, the batteries in here, I don't know what they are, but they're weak, they're puny, they're tiny, and they're dead. They just they don't hold the charge at all. So I feel as though it would be much more beneficial to go ahead and pull those out and yeah, and gut the car. Only thing is, I gotta find more connectors like this, so I could just throw like one of these freaking high voltage batteries in here and really just burn that motor, you know what I'm saying? I'll just like smoke it out in 10 minutes, but alright, I think we're gonna end up shutting this down, because I mean, the whole point of this was to get this car kind of up and running and fixed. But I mean, at this time, I've got a lot more stuff to find, and if I can't find anything, then I definitely will be ordering some type of different battery, some type of replacement battery to really kind of change that out because it's such a cool little car. Um, it's not durable at all. It'll probably break within 10 minutes, but my son has played with it quite a bit and he does like it. Um, and it's a decent car, but the battery is just junk. So, that is going to be it. I am going to wrap this one up. Feels so different, you know what I'm saying? Usually it's always some type of gameplay or um, virtual reality or something like that, and today was just kind of a little bit different. It was more of just stuff I had to kind of check out and get into. So I figured why not? I do more than just play video games. I mean, if you can't tell, obviously. If you can't tell, then you probably haven't been to the channel before, because I'm kind of a hobbyist. I don't stick to one thing. Doesn't mean I abandon things, you know. I still fly FPV drones, which I picked that up like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Damn. Shit looking thick over there in the chat. That is hilarious. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's something I haven't had show up in chat before. That's pretty funny. But yeah. So basically, I just wanted to kind of bring you guys along with me while I go through some electronical crap. Um, I did plan on actually doing some painting. I do have a couple of hydrographic film kits, and I still have some activator. So I was thinking about like basically painting and customizing the shit out of a bunch of like car bodies and little bodies like this and shit. As well as my girl wants her phone case done. If you guys are interested in watching that, let me know. I have done the paint dipping, the hydrographic dipping, and stuff like that in the past, but I haven't really. I really kind of just explained most of the hydrographic film dipping. I never really showed it, so I do feel as though it could be something that some people would be interested in. I'm gonna end up doing it anyway, so if you would like to check that out, just drop a comment down below. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing that. Hey, thank you very much for that. I definitely wish you guys all the best luck and safety out there in these crazy times right now as well. Depending on where you live, it can be pretty dangerous. I don't want to say to go outside, but you definitely got to be careful of what you guys are getting yourself into out there. I really do hope you all stay safe. Yeah, it's a crazy thing to think about. I never thought I would be bringing up a 2-year-old son in times like this. I mean, I'm 28 now, or 29. I can't remember. I just had a birthday pass. I think I'm 29. I really didn't think I would be bringing a child up in times like this, and I really waited longer than almost what I wanted to because I didn't want to bring a child into a chaotic world at the time. And then everything kind of seemed to align for me, and uh, job solid, place to live, family's doing good, everything like that. So it kind of really pushed me and my fiance to say, hey, you know what? If we are gonna have a child, we should do it sometime soon. I don't want to be 50 years old going to play with my 10-year-old son and toss a football around. So we had a child, and he's the most beautiful, amazing, smartest little boy I could have ever wished for. The kid is almost too smart. Uh, it's insane to really talk about. I really don't show him too much, and don't really show you guys content pertaining to him. It's kind of like my my personal side of life that I don't like to share too much. But you can find some stuff like some funny videos and funny pictures as well on different platforms that I'm on. I'm on a whole bunch of them, including Instagram and Twitch and Twitter and all that stuff. So I mean, there is some stuff that I do share, but he's really like my hidden gem. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't have wished for a better son. I could only wish for better times in life and in our country to be bringing my son up in. So that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. I do appreciate everybody that came and stopped by the stream. Anybody watching this video afterwards, I do hope you guys all the best of luck and hope you guys are staying safe out there. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say on the matter. So yeah, if you guys are looking forward to seeing other FPV first person view of fixing electronic crap, as well as painting, go ahead, drop that down in the comments below. I'm also thinking about doing a new drone build video. It's been a while since I built a new one, so I'm kind of thinking about putting a new one together. The last one I built is an absolute rocket, and I love it. It's a 3-inch. I basically put it on an alien frame with some sick props. I mean, tell you the truth, I spent way too much on parts to build this one, but this one is a absolute monster. You got gem fan props, HGLRC. What are these? 3600 kV motors. You've got a 45 amp stack in there with a CATX Turtle V2. Got the special lens on it. Transmitter. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's rocking the iFlight V2 transmitter that comes with the stack. I believe it's like a 800. I mean, this is an absolute rocket. But this was like $400 to build something ridiculous like that for this little one. I mean, I'm not gonna front though. I've crashed this a couple times and it's still perfectly fine, so it's kind of worth it in my book. But will I build another one that expensive? Probably not. That will probably be the smallest, most expensive one that I've already put work into. Besides for the Tiny Whoop, which was like, the Inductrix is like $100 probably. The motors were like 25, and then the camera was like $30 because it's got a 200 milliwatt transmitter in it instead of the 25. So I can really get distance with this thing, a lot more distance than some people could get. So that is pretty much that, and I'm wrapping this up. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Be sure to check out all the links down in the description, down in the chat, down in the video, wherever you guys are watching this. Be sure to check out all that good stuff, and if you guys do wish to help support the channel and the stream in any way, you could do so in multiple different ways, like tips and all that good crap. But the biggest way is by buying some merch. You can go ahead, pick up some merch for yourself. I'll get a tiny piece of the pie, and you'll get like a cool sweatshirt, t-shirt, coffee mug, mouse pad, whatever is there that tickles your fancy. So I hope you guys did enjoy. I'm getting out of here. If you guys are interested, check me out live on twitch.tv/unsub from reality. Yeah, I believe I changed it. So yeah, that's unsub from reality. Will probably be live on Twitch when you're watching this. More than likely be playing something, and if it's not virtual reality, it will probably either be Valorant, Counter-Strike, or something else. Thank you for watching.